Available now. Link below.
In our next special report, we peel back the curtain on a situation so dire it's almost hard to believe it's happening right under our noses. Imagine, if you will, a scenario where the guardians of our nation's gates not only leave them wide open, but seemingly invite those in who wish us harm. As we speak, operatives from the Chinese Communist Party People Liberation Army are not just knocking at our door, they're walking right through thanks to policies that seem to prioritize open borders over American safety. But why should you stick around for this whole report? Because what we're about to unveil goes deeper than politics. It's about the survival of our republic, and trust me, you don't want to miss the final thought, where we will connect the dots in a way that will make you see the urgent need for action. This is not just news, it's a wake-up call for every American citizen. Before we dive into the heart of our investigation, a quick moment to talk about something affecting us all: our rising energy bills. Just like we see unwelcome changes at our borders, our utility bills are hitting record highs, making it harder for American families to keep up. But there is a beacon of hope, a revolutionary energy-saving device now available at an exclusive 65% off only at don'twastepower.com. This compact device is your frontline defense against the big utility companies, helping you save money and optimize your home's energy use. Don't let the power companies take more of your hard-earned money. Visit don'twastepower.com and join the thousands of Americans who are fighting back. Now back to our pressing story, because America stands at a crossroads, facing a challenge unlike any other in our history. As the sun sets on the principles of sovereignty and security, a new dawn rises, revealing a landscape marred by the footprints of foreign operatives. The orchestrators of this quiet invasion, none other than President Joe Biden and Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, whose policies have not just opened the gates, but have laid out the welcome mat for operatives of the Chinese Communist Party People Liberation Army, the PLA, directly into the United States. Now, this isn't hyperbole. It's a stark reality. With the southern border more porous than ever, we're witnessing not a trickle, but a torrent of military-aged Chinese men. Their presence marked by identical looks, tattoos, and attire, a uniform of infiltration. These aren't your average migrants seeking a better life. These are trained operatives with objectives that align not with the American dream, but with the strategic goals of the Chinese Communist Party. Now, we're going to point to a chilling scenario. These operatives, likely members of the Strategic Support Force, the SSF, the Chinese equivalent of our Special Operations Command, are exploiting the Biden administration's reckless disregard for border security. But what drives this invasion? Well, the answer is multifaceted, involving economic desperation, geopolitical maneuvering, and a calculated attempt to undermine American sovereignty from within. Take a look.
Address it to the degree that I can in this session. Clearly, the border's open, and they know it. And clearly, Venezuela, Iran, Russia, and China are working together in a number of areas. Whether it's BRICS or trying to find an alternative international currency to replace the dollar as the international reserve, to undermine the influence of the dollar in the international markets. At that level, diplomatically in the UN and elsewhere, they are working against our interests. As far as the border, there have been over 100 identifiable terrorists that have entered the southern border. Some we've interdicted, some we have not. We have Chinese nationals of military age coming into Latin America, coming across the southern border. They wear the same clothes, they have the same haircuts, they have the same pocket litter, they have the same knapsacks. It's like it's a uniform. And they get processed and moved on. And we know.
What do you mean by? I'm sorry. What do you mean by pocket litter? I mean, I get a vague sense, but what's that?
You have the same wallet. You have the same types of identification. It's all the same. And we have good information that they are products of they have the same rituals, they have the same tattoos, and the operating theory by our Border Patrol and our intelligence elements is they come from one specific special operations unit, and they have from China.
Wait, I'm sorry. You're saying so we actually have knowledge
Yes,
about
we do.
this. So people show pictures, but you're saying that there's talk in Washington that we know who these people are. They come from a special operations unit of the Chinese Communist
Yes.
Party, and they're not being stopped.
Terrifying to consider this reality. Now, this video clip concerns rise at the U.S. border as military-aged Chinese men draw significant attention. Former U.S. intelligence officer Derek Harvey shares his insights, suggesting the involvement of a special CCP military unit. And Harvey's observations aren't just speculation. They're based on years of experience and a deep understanding of the strategic underpinnings of the CCP's global ambitions. But where are these operatives heading, and what are their objectives? Investigations and first-hand accounts from the ground, including those by Michael Yan, a former Special Forces operator, paint a grim picture. These operatives gravitate towards strategic locations within the United States, including biolabs, fentanyl production facilities, gun ranges, and cannabis operations. Their presence in these sectors isn't coincidental, but a deliberate effort to exploit America's vulnerabilities. Now, the infiltration strategy is sophisticated, involving the use of the Darien Gap as a transit route and the exploitation of legal loopholes and lax immigration policies. Once in the U.S., some of these operatives obtain citizenship, further embedding themselves within the fabric of American society, making detection and counteraction all the more challenging. But it's not just about individual operatives. The broader strategy involves the establishment of a foothold within key industries and sectors, allowing for the potential distribution of lethal substances like fentanyl, which claims thousands of American lives each month. This is warfare, not with bullets and bombs, but with chemicals and economic sabotage. And what of the American response? Well, under the current administration, it's been one of inaction and denial. As we continue to document this invasion, we're met with silence from the corridors of power in Washington, D.C. It's a silence that speaks volumes about the priorities of the Biden-Mayorkas administration, where the security of American citizens takes a back seat to political agendas and the pursuit of an open border policy that serves not the American people, but the strategic interests of the CCP. In Reedleyville, California, for example, a dangerous biolab run by illegal Chinese nationals was discovered not far from critical military infrastructure. This isn't an isolated incident, but part of a pattern of strategic placements that threaten national security. Here's more.
Colleagues joining us today. We'll start right here.
Yeah, what evidence you have that some Chinese nationals crossing the border are connected to the CCP or PLA? And then another question, would impeaching Mayorkas actually fix the problem, or does the rot go deeper within DHS?
The policies are very clearly Secretary Mayorkas's, and he's been made aware multiple times of what has happened. The Senate's hearings, too, have been very comprehensive with him, pointing out his own failure to understand what's going on at the border, et cetera. But they've educated him in the process, and he has not acted. So I believe that the major fault lies with Alejandro Mayorkas. In terms of the verification that the individuals being released into the United States come from or have ties to the PLA, it came from a sector chief, and I'm going to leave it at that at this point. We have a classified briefing coming up on it in the very near future.
In that video, Representative Mark Green exposes the direct intelligence from CBP, confirming that Biden and Mayorkas are knowingly releasing operatives of the Chinese Communist Party's People Liberation Army directly into the United States. This isn't negligence. It's complicity in the face of a clear and present danger. The question then arises, what can be done? Well, the answer lies not in the hands of a government that has shown itself to be part of the problem, but in the resolve of the American people and the actions of state and local governments. As the federal response flounders, states like Texas are taking matters into their own hands, exercising their constitutional authority to protect their citizens and push back against the tide of invasion. Yet the fight is uphill and fraught with challenges. The complexity of this invasion requires not just awareness, but action. It requires a reevaluation of our immigration policies, a bolstering of our border security, and a firm stance against the geopolitical machinations of the CCP. It requires a reinstatement of the policies that prioritize American security and sovereignty, policies that were championed by President Trump, but have since been abandoned to our peril. So as this report comes to a close, we're left with a clear picture of the threat facing our nation. But it's not just a picture of doom and gloom. It's a call to action. A reminder that the security of our nation and the safety of our citizens are non-negotiable. not political bargaining chips, but the very foundation of our republic. Before we proceed to my final thought, an important message. As the pivotal 2024 election approaches, understanding the intricate forces at play in our nation is vital. And that's why my book, The Silent Coup, unravels the layers of political intrigue and the deliberate media obfuscation. In these critical times, being informed is your shield. Acquire your copy today, maintain your awareness, empower yourself, and let's take back control of our collective destiny. You will find the link to secure yours in this video's description. And now, my final thought. As we've uncovered tonight, the infiltration of Chinese special operators into America isn't just a breach of our borders, it's a direct challenge to the sovereignty of our safety and our way of life. Under the guise of open border policies, the Mayorkas Biden administration has not only failed to protect us, but has actively facilitated this threat. It's a sobering reminder that the security of our republic is in our hands. We must demand accountability, enforce our laws, and secure our borders. The time for action is now. This isn't about politics. It's about preserving the safety and future of our nation. So let's stand together, informed and united, to safeguard our republic against all threats, both foreign and domestic. Thank you for watching. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe and tell a friend. Together, we can make a difference.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.